Early today, I was talking to somebody, and he mentioned that everyone is doing AI. And what Harry also mentioned, Control F, Control R, automation with AI. Yeah? And it's true, to an extent, some of these was AI in a way, but it has changed in the last few years, so to say. I will tell you another story which happened to me just last Thursday. I rang up a call center to change my flight. First of all, I had to call up a call center because there is no way I could do it on myself. The website is broken. Their mobile app is broken. There is no bot on their page, which I was expecting in today's world that there would be one. So I ended up calling them. The first guy I got to was about 25 minutes later, holding an hour. I knew what flight I wanted to get onto. I knew that was available because I already did my research. I needed somebody because I couldn't do it myself. A bot would have easily done it. I said, okay, fine. Let's see if my friends on the contact center can help me. Nope, they couldn't. The first guy I talked to, I'm saying first guy because I had to call them 3 times before I could actually get it fixed. He was new. He didn't know how to do things. He's like, oh, I don't think there is any seat available on that flight. Like, really? I actually checked. By booking a new flight, because I couldn't change, I tried to book a new seat or buy a new ticket. And I see that there are ample seats available. Like, oh, it doesn't show me here in my system. Like, hell. Then I was getting on the meeting. I said, fuck it, forget it. I'm going to go ahead and do it later. He was not guided. From the very moment he started talking to me, I could figure out he is new because he didn't know things. He was struggling. I could hear him typing and trying to figure out. So the contact center solution wasn't helping him to be more productive. And all these could have been easily solved by automation or AI, how we call it today. Or I could have simply sent an email, which could have been responded after like 3 days. But hey, my flight is in 2 days. I needed a faster response. So all of these is the reality of some of the businesses who are still not thinking of turning this into an AI-powered solution. I could have called, I could have given my booking number, or they could have identified by my phone number and could have fixed this with automation completely. But not everyone is far ahead. So, where do AI stands? Now, we have been looking at, since starting of this session, is there are different level of autonomy that one wants to achieve. Some where maybe because of the regulatory reasons, you cannot use AI. Or the organization is structurally not ready. I was talking to a gentleman earlier today. He's like, oh, until you convince me that you can protect my data, I'm not going to put the AI or LLM specific into the play. Fair enough. There is a regulatory requirement in certain industries that it has to be said exactly like that, then only it is acceptable. Fair? You can continue to work on the conversational, where the bots are still designed without autonomy, or you can go full autonomous by just giving them the access and let it do its magic. So let's look at how these autonomies can give you still the different results. And what Michael also mentioned, and Nick as well, is every use case is different. It's not a single solution for all the problems. Will I be doing everything autonomous? Well, then I don't need a workforce. But who would be responsible when things go wrong? Or when things don't work out, who is going to fix them? So the level of autonomy would differ on the use case, and you can define which one works the best. Reliable, consistent experience, regulatory approved, right? Because sometimes it has to say, how many times we have heard those disclaimers and we have to listen to them because that's a regulatory requirement. Can this be said differently? Yes. Can it be said funny, more professional? All that is possible. But the regulators still don't allow because they are still also adapting to the change of AI. The day will come where they will say, okay, the crux of it should remain, the verbiage is you're free to use, right? And those are the days when we will be able to be more flexible. But what you can still do is have an orchestrated autonomy, where the orchestration is done by understanding the various different requests from the user in more flexible way and still have some of those flows or the conversations being more directed and the other ones completely flexible. So you can mix and match between rigid all the way to fully autonomous. Somewhere in between may be like the answer. And then obviously the full autonomy where it reasons, plans, defines, given the tool access, and it would do the job. The example I was talking about earlier, I could have sent an email saying that, hey, here is my booking, here's my booking number, this is the flight I'm on, this is the flight I want to change, and it would have autonomously made that decision by checking few things. Well, the email is coming from the right address. They could have sent me a SMS to verify that I am the one who is making the decision, no human needed. Check whether I'm allowed to change the flight, right? And if there is a cost, send me a form to fill out, which will take my credit card details and finish the whole transaction completely autonomously. All they needed is the tool access, the access to the APIs, and the guidelines when it is allowed to change the flight and when it is not. Or maybe it does a knowledge search, internal knowledge search, and say, okay, in these conditions, it is allowed or not allowed. We all know about the directed dialogues and all. Let's look at some of the possibilities with the orchestrated automation or autonomy. So what we do here is what we call as a Dialogue GPT, which is patent pending technology from Kore, is understand the user's inputs with the help of LLM, give that the access to your conversations or conversational agents, also give it the access to the knowledge, which is powered by RAG, and the access to the tools and others to design the orchestration. This way, you can still combine between certain structured flows and the completely autonomous flows in a combination of that. As we have been saying that we are LLM agnostic, which means you can pick the best for the task. You don't have to be rigid about one or the other, right? A lot of the companies are like, oh, but we have this partnership with this company only. Well, today's world, every single day, model gets outperformed. Do you want to get stuck into one or the other? Is that the only choice you want to make? And all these companies are working for one company or the other who is compliant, security considerations are also proved on them. So you don't want to stuck yourself onto one. So I think the gentleman asked the question, now that we are stuck into this cloud, likewise, do you want to get stuck into this specific LLM? What if they become not that better in 6 months or 8 months? You are stuck now because you made that choice from the beginning, right? Now you are stuck into so much because you also use their tools to build up the whole ecosystem around it. So that flexibility is also very important. So how this orchestration works, the user input comes, it looks at all the different data or the tools available to it, be it the conversational flows, intents, the RAG APIs, and it then orchestrates, creates a plan, executes it, provides output. Again, depending on the use case, you can have a structured flows for compliance reasons, or a completely free flows for autonomy. Now let's look at the full autonomous. Now we all know about autonomous platforms, but what are the main components? Multi-agent orchestration. It's not going to be single, right? There are going to be multiple different agents specific to your use cases, and those are going to be many of them as and when we build up on it. It's like your specialized employees knowing this task inside out, and you don't have one employee, you have multiple of them. You also have the enterprise-ready RAG, right? The knowledge is where the maximum value is, structured, unstructured, because a lot of the decisions are being made on that knowledge. Not only just the structured API calls or things like that, or the rules. There's also a lot of knowledge that's being used in there. To my earlier situation, when I called up the second time, the guy had no clue that I called up earlier, and he started from the very beginning, because there was no memory, right? An autonomous agent would have had that. No code to pro code. I think I've been into a lot of the meetings where, like, the moment I start the word no code, some engineer starts to walk out. It's like, no software can be built with no code. Yeah, right. That's why we give you that flexibility. Is for the business users or the users who don't need complex solutions, they can use the no code tool with the engineers who can then use up to pro code tools where they can go tweak, create complex scenarios, and all of that. Obviously, there are integrations and SDKs. We don't live in the world where one solution is the only thing we use. So you need the bridges to be built. And a continuous evaluation. It's not a one-time thing. Today, it is giving me the output, but is there anything better? Things are changing so rapidly. Every day, more and more models are being rolled out, more capabilities are being rolled out. We started with the text, now we are multimodal. I don't know where it's going to lead us to into the near future. So the continuous evaluation is also something like needed. Model hubs. Is this model better? How do I know it is good? And all that. With each model is, we all know, prompt. How many of you have taken the prompt, some level of prompt developing trainings? Small, large, whatever. Yeah. That is a new language. English is the new programming language to an extent. Yeah? But the language is the new programming technique. The prompts are the root of it. The instructions that you're giving to your people, likewise, you need to give to those models. But those instructions, are they creating the right output? Are they comprehensive? How do we make sure that you're getting the right prompt in place? Because that's what drives your output of your processes. Well, just like humans, can the AI be also taught? It doesn't have to be about the generic world knowledge, but about my business, my processes. Like we do it for the employees. The new employee comes in, he needs to be taught the business. He needs to be taught your processes. Likewise, the AI also needs to be. AI is a child who knows, or not a child actually, an adult, who knows a lot of things, but you still need to teach them your business. So that's what you need to do. And the observability and governance is the key, because without that, nothing works. And you also want to know what is your liability or what is your exposure in this if this autonomous agent doesn't work. Michael, I think, touched upon this. The power of autonomous is on reasoning, planning, and execution. And also the reflection after that, right? Did it do it right? Is the output correct? What if it is not correct? So it takes the input and starts looking for the available agents for this. Now, this could be one agent or multiple. They could be a third-party agents. Nowadays, again, as I said, it's not one tool and one software available where you have built it. Maybe you have already invested into something. You don't want to recreate that all. So you may have an internal or external agents, and now you want to put them in the combination. Maybe you are consuming services from a third party who also provides autonomous agents. Now you want to combine your own agents with them. So they can be talking to each other. The commonly known protocols right now is A2A. But again, things are evolving. A2A was not available 6 months ago. Now it is the new standard. Will it remain the standard? I don't think anybody knows the answer today. Things are evolving that fast. And now you also have to externally connect and use that. To simplify these, you have the agents. You give it a task, like your employee. This is your specialized task. These are your boundaries. You give it a scope and instructions. Yeah? You can charge, but you can't charge more than this. You're allowed to change if the conditions apply. Things like that. And you give them the knowledge. You give them the chance to remember things. Short-term, long-term, and you can define. Yeah? If it is about a transaction, it's a short-term memory. If it's your long-lasting customer, that's your long-term memory, and things like that. And now you give them the access to the tools. Right now, I think everyone talks about the MCP and all that. So again, what in the older days we called it APIs, also tools, MCP tools. There are many others which can be used to make sure that they can autonomously execute their task and the job that they are given to. So here is an example of a banking autonomous agents, where you can see they have loan. So there is a specialized agent who has a knowledge of loans, the payments, the cards, and the generic transactions. Now, let's look at this, how this autonomous agent works in action when somebody calls in.
Hello, I am your personal banker. How can I assist you today?
Hi, I want to make a payment to John today.
Absolutely. Let's get that payment to John. How much would you like to send? And from which account?
I think I want to send it from my savings account, and the payment is for $300, but can you check the balance first, please?
Could you please provide your customer ID so I can check the balance of your savings account?
Sure, give me one moment, please.
Take your time. I'll be right here when you're ready.
Yeah, the customer ID is 10589.
Your savings account balance is $76,140.
Rich man.
You're all set to make that $300 payment to John. Shall we proceed?
Yes, but can you check what is the outstanding on my credit card, please?
Your outstanding balance on the credit card is $320, and the minimum payment due is $50 by April 6th, 2025. Would you like to proceed with the payment to John now?
Yes, please.
I'll need the routing number and confirmation of the transfer details to proceed with the payment to John. Could you provide those, please?
Yeah, John is already registered on my account, so you should have those details.
Great. Since John is already registered, we can proceed without needing additional details. Let's get that $300 sent to John from your savings account. Please confirm the following details so we can proceed with the payment. Amount, $300. Account, savings account. Payee name, John. Shall we go ahead?
Yes, please.
The $300 payment to John has been successfully initiated from your savings account. If there's anything else I can help you with, just let me know.
Yeah, let's also clear that credit card dues. but can you check what is my current account balance?
I'll check your current account balance first, and then we can clear the credit card dues. Please give me a moment. Your current account balance is $9,500. Would you like to proceed with clearing the $320 credit card dues?
Yes, make it from the current account.
The credit card dues of $320 have been successfully paid from your current account. Your updated balance is now $9,180. If there else you need, just let me know.
That's all. Thank you.
Right, so what you saw now is an autonomous agent having a conversation with a customer, and customer was digressing, was giving the information, partially not giving, or asking different questions. It had all the tools available to itself to go and get the job done, right? And that's exactly what our employees does. In addition to that, this was a voice-to-voice streaming example. So there was no ASR TTS involved. This was actually feeding directly into the LLM, multimodal experience that you just saw. And that's an architecture which you can refer to. But we are talking about all this in the customer experience. What about the employees? Why should they be left behind? They have also a lot of tasks that they need to do, which are sometimes efficient, sometimes cumbersome, depending on the task. So let's look at the John's day. He goes and checks the CRM for the latest deals. He has to go and now check the details on the Slack. So he's trying to find the information from multiple different sources to understand his day. Then he goes and checks the support tickets and others and the relevant company product information that maybe as a customer success director, he might want to send it to the customer. And then he creates a proposal and sends a proposal to the team to review, and then creates a personalized experience or email, and then goes and sends it via Gmail to them. And then again, go back and update the CRM that he has taken the action. Now this takes somewhere between 2 to 3 hours. He needs to coordinate with people, try and find out information, look at different systems, and then provide the answers. What if we can help John to create this in a more AI-powered? He can use the search or agentic RAG to search through all the different systems, find the latest information on the product, and ask the AI to generate a proposal for him based on the things that he needs to do. And also prepare an email that he can, with the one click, send it to the customer after the review. That brings down those 3 hours down to 10 minutes because most of the tasks are being handled by various AI agents. In order to do that, what you need is availability on all the channels, internal channels mostly. But more than that, you have search tools, different agentic tools, and all of that. So here is an example how it connects to various different sources. And I think today, a lot of the companies are rolling out as a first employee solution is the enterprise search, because that's where maximum people waste their time. I remember those challenges before we rolled out the solution was, where is this? I remember somebody sending me that file, but I just don't remember the name. I don't remember when it was sent, but I still remember that John sent me that file, but I just can't find it. That's where you start. But you need the access to all of these different systems where your knowledge might be. Not that you have all of them in place, but every customer would have a different set of a combination of that. But beyond that, I want just not do the search. I want to execute the tasks. I'm taking a leave, reschedule all the meetings, assign my tasks to somebody else, and it creates the nice little plan to do all of that from that one sentence, because it is orchestrating and creating a plan for multi-agent scenario. And that's how the new edge employees would be benefiting from various different tasks. Here also, as you can see on the top, there are different agents specialized for different tasks, HR, IT, recruitment, and whatnot. So once you have that, you can use either the pre-built solutions, or you can create your own multi-agent orchestrator, which can then help those employees getting their job done faster. There are many different things that are required, things like search with the enterprise, things like a simple task. Can you please translate this to German? Or this message came from Spanish. Can you please translate that for me in English? These are the simple prompt agents, the miniature tasks that the agents can do to be more productive and faster. Integrating with the APIs to get the things done, right? Autonomous agents to do the task, like, okay, I want to apply for a leave, so automatically reschedule my meetings and assign my task to somebody else. So all these different kind of agents, when it comes together, makes it what we call as an AI for work, right? An employee assistant or a concierge service for employee. We are introducing the agent marketplace with this, where all these agents are pre-built and ready so that you reduce the time to create them. You can take it as a base, extend it, adapt it, however you want to do it, and then start using it for that. Any questions? Okay. Either I was too clear, or I'm between you and the coffee. Okay. Feel free to reach out to us. We'll be available at the networking break. And if you don't have any other question right now, then thank you.
For those who don't know, you probably already know, but there's some drinks, refreshments, some rather lovely sort of sodas and cans and other things up there that you like. But it will take about 20 minutes, 25 minutes, just up there, have a good time, and then we'll call you back. Thank you.
Thank you.